He let the busy hours of the day slip away with the sunlight in the west, and as twilight poured out of its soft hues on the magnificent landscape, he left, pretending he needed to take a break, and stating he wanted to get to know the town's ancient fountain, one of the main attractions to outsiders. About 300 feet down the road, he met bystanders and fishermen who drew back and looked at him with undisguised curiosity. A whole hour passed as he pondered his anguish, lost in thought. An immense canopy of shadow had begun to settle over the entire region, filled with vitality and fragrances. Where would the prophet from Nazareth be at that moment? Mightn't the tales of his miracles and his enchanting magic over souls be a mere illusion? Wasn't it absurd to be looking for him on this road, disregarding the imperatives of social hierarchy? At any rate, he must be a simple, uneducated man, given his preference for Capernaum and fishermen. Giving free rein to the ideas flowing through his burning and distressed mind, Publius thought that a meeting with the master from Nazareth was highly unlikely. How would they understand each other? He had not been the least bit interested in a closer understanding of the dialect of the common folk. And Jesus, of course, spoke Aramaic, commonly used in the Tiberias basin. Profound doubt spilled from his mind to his heart, like the shadows of twilight before nighttime. The sky at that time of day turned a wonderful dark blue, whereas the opalescent light of the moon had not waited for the night to set in. The senator felt his heart lost in an abyss of infinite conjectures, beating erratically in his oppressed chest. Conflicting emotions tormented the innermost fibers of his spirit. He was unaware that he had leaned on a stone bench covered in bramble. His mind wandered in deep thought. He had never experienced such a feeling except in that memorable dream he had related only to Flaminius. He recalled the smallest details of his earthly life as he had temporarily abandoned the prison of his physical body. He felt a profound ecstasy before nature and its marvels, unable to express his admiration and acknowledgement of the powers of heaven. Such was the cloister in which he had always confined his proud, unyielding soul. Sweet fragrances seemed to emanate from the gentle waters of Lake Gennesaret, to blend delightfully with the wild scent of the foliage. It was then as if his spirit were under the imperative of a strange general magnetism that he heard the light footsteps of someone who had come looking for that same spot. There, before his anxious eyes, stood a unique, unmistakable figure. It was a young man who displayed a gentle and indefinable beauty in his profoundly merciful eyes. Long and silky hair framed his compassionate face like brown strands tinged with the gold of an unknown light. A divine smile, revealing at the same time immense goodness and singular energy, radiated an irresistible appeal from his melancholy, majestic figure. Publius had no difficulty identifying this impressive individual, but sentiments unbeknownst to him until then stirred wildly in his heart. Not even his appearance before Tiberius in the grandeur of Capri had aroused such feelings. Burning tears streamed from his eyes, which rarely wept, and a mysterious invincible power made him kneel on the moonlit grass. He wanted to speak, but his chest felt heavy and suffocated. In a gesture of sweet, supreme goodness, the gentle Nazarene walked towards him like a materialized vision of one of the gods of his ancient beliefs. Lovingly placing his hand on his head, he asked him in an enchanting language, which Publius understood as perfectly as if it were the patrician idiom, indelibly etched in his soul the unforgettable feeling that the words were from spirit to spirit, heart to heart.
"Why are you looking for me, Senator? It would have been better if you had come publicly and in broad daylight in order to learn once and for all the sublime lesson of faith and humility. But I have not come into the world to alter the supreme laws of nature. I have come here to meet your ailing soul."
Publius could not express his feelings, except for the copious tears of sorrow for his little daughter. The prophet, however, as if not needing to hear his unspoken words, continued,
"No, I have not come to meet the superficial, proud statesman, whom only centuries of suffering can lead to the bosom of my Father. I have come in answer to the pleas of a grief-stricken and oppressed heart. But above all, my friend, your sentiments is not what will save your leprous little daughter, forsaken by the science of the world, because your frame of mind is still selfish and human. Rather, it is the faith and love of your wife, for faith is divine. Only one ray of its powerful energies is enough to crush all the monuments of earth's vanities."
Profoundly moved and magnetized by this presence, it seemed to the senator that his soul was floating in a dream world. Such was the extent of the unknown and unexpected emotions flooding his heart. He wanted to believe that his true sentiments were now locked in an incomprehensible game of illusion.
"No, my friend, you are not dreaming,"
the master said kindly and compellingly, divining Publius's thoughts.
"After many years of deviation from the path of the good due to your blatant wrongs, today you have come to the turning point for the regeneration of your entire life. It is up to you, however, to take advantage of it, either now or in a few millennia from now. If the unfolding of human life depends on circumstances, you must consider that they come in all forms, leaving it up to individuals to exert the power of will and sentiment in seeking to align their destinies with the goodness and love for their fellow beings. At this very moment, a glorious point in time has arrived for your spirit, if you can utilize your freedom to forever imprint it on your heart, turning it into a hymn of love, humility, and faith, in the not yet determined moment of redemption within eternity. But no one can impose an act that is against your conscience if it is your desire to spurn this blessed moment indefinitely. I have been the shepherd of human souls since the formation of the world. For many millennia I have tried to reunite my stray sheep to bring their hearts the eternal joys of the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All the powers of your empire are quite tenuous, and all its wealth is paltry. The magnificence of the Caesars is an ephemeral illusion that lasts one day, because all wise men, as well as all warriors, are called at the right time to the tribunals of justice of my Father in heaven. Some day its powerful eagles will cease to exist under a handful of miserable ashes. Its culture will be transformed by the efforts of other workers worthier of progress. Its unjust laws will be swallowed by the dark abyss of these centuries of impiety. For there is only one law, and it will survive the ruins of human unrest, the law of love, established by my Father from the beginning of creation. Now, go home, aware of the responsibilities of your destiny. If faith has established in your house what you regard as bliss because of your daughter's recovery, do not forget that it represents an increase in your soul's duties before our Almighty Father.